When I first heard of Shikanoko Nokonoko Koshitantan, I thought, this seems like one of those wacky anime comedies that wrings its premise dry by the halfway point and leaves itself nothing left to work with after that. Well, it's kind of scary how accurate that assessment was. This is a 12 episode anime. Episodes 1 through 3 I thought were perfectly funny. Episodes 4 and 5, things were already starting to get old. And then in episode 6, that was the real death knell. Because in episode 6, they did a whole bunch of short skits back to back to back to back to back. And that did spice things up for that one episode, but it also ensured that they used up pretty much all their jokes. So everything after that would just feel like a slog. Look at some of the earlier episodes. They have jokes like antler jokes. It's a huge part of the show. Early episodes, girl pulls out her antlers. Completely unexpected, so it has comedic value. Later on in the show, you're just thinking, okay, what's she going to do with her antlers this time? Oh, she made them long. Oh, she made them flaccid. Whatever. You don't care anymore. And it's the same thing with the Shika Senbei jokes, the cracker jokes, all these jokes where people either take her too seriously or pretend that she's totally normal, or there's a contrast between the people taking her seriously and the people who are just so offended by the fact that people are taking her seriously. It's the same thing over and over again. And surely you could just add in non-deer jokes and that would spice the show up, right? But there just aren't that many of those either. What do they have here? You have the two main characters. Aside from that, you have a psycho lesbian sister, a character type that I'm always on board with. But what makes this one any different from all the other psycho lesbian sisters in anime? Really not that much. And whatever they had for her, they pretty much used up in the second episode. So she didn't really contribute all that much. Then you have a very unique character, the girl who just sits around eating rice all the time. And it's kind of funny just how sort of useless and tuned out a character like that is in principle, but what does she actually contribute to the show? She's part of the core four. When a character is your fourth option, she should be able to carry a scene. Anyone in your core four should be able to carry a scene, but this girl, she just can't really do that. She's just a gimmick character, one joke, that's it. Really not much to add. There's the student council, and the student council is basically just deer jokes all over again. They want to get rid of the deer club, and they get foiled by more deer hijinks, so they don't really have that much to contribute by themselves. So basically what you have is not enough jokes for 12 episodes, and things get dry after episode 6. The one thing I am happy about here, though, is that on myanimelist.com, the aggregate review score is currently under 7.1. I think if this anime came out 15 years ago, it would be praised as a slice of life comedy that doesn't have to be funny all the time, or most of the time for that matter, and it would get at least a 7.3, if not much higher. It's really nice to see that standards are actually coming back down to normal. I would give this a single tilde, which is basically a 6.0 to 6.9, so the current consensus is not all that far from where I would rate it, and I think the current consensus is slowly coming down. So, my opinion here actually may be mainstream. This show is just not all that funny, especially after the first 3 episodes. So if you're really curious about watching it, just give it a 3-episode taste test, and that's it. You don't need to watch anymore.